Hi, Carrie Ellis with Super Immunity Soup. Today our soup is rice vegetable, and we are creating Super Immunity Soup to help keep us well in the wintertime. Of course, there's other things to do to keep us well as well, living fresh foods, detoxifying our body and all that sort of thing. But for the wintertime, for a nice warm bowl of something to nourish us and help protect our immune system, there's nothing like Super Immunity Soup, and I'm gonna just taste this and see how it is. Oh my goodness, that is really good. So today we're doing rice soup in a 6-quart, 8-quart saucepan soup pot. I put about 4 quarts of water, and believe it or not, just a cup and a half of rice, and I used long grain brown organic rice. So I put about a cup and a half of dry rice in the pot, and we have a really nice thick soup that rice just swells up and fills up the pot. And along with that, we put our Super Immunity Soup ingredients, which include a whole onion diced. And I'm reviewing this because I already made it a little bit earlier today. Elephant garlic, which I like because the cloves are bigger. Garlic has allicin in it, which is similar to penicillin, so very protective for our bodies. So I take 3 or 4 of these little cloves of the garlic, peel them, chop them up, and put them in there. And then we have ginger, fresh ginger root, and you can put a couple of pieces or you can put a couple of big chunks, throw them in there, let it cook, and then you can pull the ginger out before you eat the soup because it's kind of hot. Some of us like to chew on it, but not everybody. Along with that, in our Super Immunity recipe is curry powder, and there's many kinds of curry powder. Take your pick, whatever you can find. I like buying this bulk at the natural food store, organic Indian spices that are designed to really help protect the body against bacteria and viruses. Cumin, another East Indian spice. We put a nice teaspoon of that, and these are regular teaspoons you might find in your silverware drawer, not a regular measuring teaspoon, which is actually a little smaller. I love the chilies. We live in the Southwest. Green chili and red chili powder, maybe a half a teaspoon of one or the other, whatever you have available. And you want to go medium or mild, hot if your family likes things really hot. And then I love crushed red chilies, and we're going to throw some of that in there because it needs a little bit more. Fresh oregano, and oregano oil is very protective against viruses, and so I actually put a couple of big heaping tablespoons of oregano into the soup, and I'm going to add one more right now, although much of it has already cooked in there. Be nice to get a little in there in the raw state as well. I get these beautiful big organic carrots from a grower in our valley nearby, and we store them for the winter. We make carrot juice, which is yummy to have with your soup, and we keep the carrots, and so I chop 2 of those up and put them in the soup. Also a little red pepper, and right now we are going to add a big handful of chopped fresh parsley to get something green and live in there. And the soup is warm, so it will kind of wilt the parsley a little bit, but it'll still have some good life force in it. And to get a little more green, we are going to add some chopped, washed, fresh spinach. And that, again, doesn't really need to cook. It will just sort of wilt down because the soup is warm. So this is our rice soup, rice immunity soup, and no meat. Vegan soup, we call it, and we add a little bit to get some essential fatty acids. After it's done cooking, a little bit of fresh virgin olive oil, 3 capfuls there, or a little more for that big pot. Namashoyu, which is a raw soy sauce that I love, that gives things a hearty flavor. It's a nice seasoning to use for vegan foods. Good dose of that. You can use other sorts of soy sauce as well. And then umeboshi plum vinegar tops it off, a little lemony and salty. And I actually did add about a half a teaspoon of sea salt to this as it was cooking. We'll add a little more with all this green stuff to our bowl. And there you have it. Rice soup, a meal of protective immunity soup.